We can trace back the Islamic State activities in India and Kashmir going back to the year when the Islamic State was officially announced in 2014. At that time, many militants coming from India, specifically from Kashmir and from other states in India, mainly Kerala, Karnataka and Maharashtra, and some also from Uttar Pradesh, started to migrate from India and Kashmir to Islamic State Central, particularly in Syria. Regarding the appointment of the new Islamic State leader, Abu Hussein al-Qureshi, similarly for the previous leader of the Islamic State Central, we currently don't know much about him. This is because the Islamic State has been very secretive recently around the figures of its last two leaders. And with the new campaign of allegiance for this Islamic State leader, as well as for the previous one, it is possible for us to estimate the strength of its different provinces and how the death of these two, of the previous leader and the appointment of the new one, is going to affect the operational capabilities of these groups, of these provinces, all around the world. So, for instance, we can fairly say that the death of the previous leader and the appointment of the new one has not been an issue for certain provinces, far distant provinces, like the different provinces operating in Africa. And this is also true for the provinces of Khorasan and its linked provinces of Pakistan and Wilayah Hind. If you look back to 2014, when the death of Mullah Omar was disclosed, in whole the jihadist world, a huge issue emerged, which related to the pledging of allegiance to the Afghan Taliban leader. Many jihadist groups in the region had pledged allegiance to Mullah Omar, and with the Taliban keeping secret his death, an issue relating to the oath and the links between the Afghan Taliban and the regional groups. So in this specific moment in 2014, this issue of the death of Mullah Omar and the retraction of allegiance from the movement of Uzbekistan to the Afghan Taliban was one of the main reasons which led finally to the creation of Islamic State Khorasan. One of the main tactics employed by the Islamic State Khorasan province in this moment is triggering border clashes between the Afghan Taliban and neighboring countries, or creating potential frictions between the Afghan Taliban government and governments from neighboring countries. We saw these instances of these tactics being employed in Afghanistan towards with the attacks of the Islamic State Khorasan claim from Afghanistan towards Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, which trigger political attritions between the Afghan Taliban governments and the governments of Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. And we saw this even more recently with the attack claimed by the Islamic State Khorasan province in Kabul, against which consisted in an attempted assassination of the Pakistan chargé d'affaires in Kabul. And this means that Islamic State Hind province could potentially try to adopt this tactic employed by the Islamic State Khorasan province in Pakistan and towards Kashmir along the line of control. Notwithstanding the weak position which enjoy Islamic State in province, which is also visible by the recent number of pictures they released pledging allegiance to the new Islamic State leader. We have to keep in mind that Islamic State in province is closely linked to another branch of Islamic State in the region, the most powerful branch of Islamic State in this region, actually, Islamic State Khorasan province. Islamic State in province has been spreading its propaganda mainly through one English magazine, Voice of Hind, which has been operating for the past 2 years, until May this year, publishing 27 issues of this magazine. The fact that now Islamic State in province is no longer publishing this magazine, and we don't see a huge amount of propaganda coming from this province, from these facts we can assume that Islamic State in province now has been severely weakened by Indian authorities. Past activities of Islamic State in province includes a number of attacks which targeted mainly police officers in the area of Srinagar. However, we saw that from 2020 the number of attacks claimed by the Islamic State in province has been decreasing, and we can say that from 2021 onwards they only claim 10 attacks. Most of these attacks are low-profile attacks, and which targeted not only the officers but also they include the burning of a temple in Srinagar and the burning of a crop field in Uttar Pradesh. We can trace back Islamic State activities in India and Kashmir going back to the year when the Islamic State was officially announced in 2014. At that time, many militants coming from India, specifically from Kashmir and from other states in India, mainly Kerala, Karnataka and Maharashtra, and some also from Uttar Pradesh, started to migrate from India and Kashmir to Islamic State Central, particularly in Syria. And most of these militants were veteran militants who eventually died in Syria. The next step in the evolution of militancy from Islamic State in Kashmir and India can be traced back between 2016 and 2017, when a new group emerged in Kashmir, Islamic State in Jammu and Kashmir, which was not a province, but it was a union of several different pro-Islamic State groups of veteran jihadists who organized this new alliance to carry out attacks mainly in Srinagar against police officers. This group was active, was led by the first official leader of Islamic State in Kashmir, who was as a Fasili. And this group remained active until 2019, mid-2019, when finally the Islamic State in province was born, whose first emir and leader was Ejaz Ahmad Ahangar. Islamic State in province has been active from 2019 until now. Although we saw a huge decrease, a stark decrease of the number of attacks from 2020 onwards. 2020 is when the emir of Islamic State in province was captured. He was in Afghanistan. After August 2021, he was among those prisoners of Islamic State who escaped from Bagram prison and came back to Afghanistan and Kashmir, and he is now allegedly the current leader of Islamic State in province, although we cannot be 100% sure.